What's up, Ariana? I am sending you this video because I am starting to do something, at least I'm trying it for the next couple months, where I send the worship leaders for the weekend um, just kind of like a big picture overview of what I'm picturing for the worship experience to hopefully set you up to more confidently lead worship and to just communicate kind of more of the vision of the worship team. I'm here with one Taya Joy. So if you hear some noises from her, she's just getting us ready to make a joyful noise this weekend. So anyways, thank you for serving. And I'm very open to thoughts or feedback on what would be helpful in the future for something like this, or if something like this is even helpful. So I'm also going to make these shorter in the future because I won't have to do this long explanation. So anyways, I want to remind you that Encounter Worship exists to bring people far from God to an engaged, passionate, and worshipful new life in Christ through music and production. And I think that's super cool because, another way I like to word it is we get to help people experience the reality of Jesus in new and deeper ways. And I love that. I was reading earlier this week in Isaiah in chapter 55, verse 12. It says, "You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and hills will burst into song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands." And we get to worship God like those mountains, hills, and trees. And if we don't, they will do that. But we get the opportunity to lead God's people in that this weekend. So we're going to start out with the song, "I Thank God." We're going to start it off by just praising God for who he is, by remembering when we were lost and wandering like the prodigal son. And this song's really about praising God for our salvation. You can do arrangement-wise, just like the recording. Make sure this song's kind of, for the drums at least, all out basically the whole time. It's a super high energy song, so make sure the band is and the other singers are reflecting that. And then we'll go into Holy Forever. And I think arrangement-wise, you could start this song, and I would tell the band to keep the intro really big. Not really big, but a lot bigger. So like you could tell them, keep a tom groove going, maybe big diamonds on the guitar, bass kind of like grooving with the drums, and then drop out at the start of the verse, just so it'll be just like the recording. And this song is about coming together and worshiping with the thousands of generations of believers that came before us, and the angels, and everyone crying out, "Holy, holy, holy," kind of like in Revelation chapter 4, verse 8. And this song's also about how God stands above everything else in our lives. And then for the worship leader moment, I think I'm most likely going to spend some time praying and then just reminding people about kind of setting up the next song, "Son of Suffering," about how God isn't far off and distant like a lot of times we maybe think or feel. He is here with us. He took the form of a man and experienced everything we experience. And he even experienced death and one of the worst tortures ever, and he defeated death. And we get to live in that freedom. And then the message bumper will happen, and then message, and then Dirk is leading us in communion. So we are going to do that under the song "Here Again." So while you're singing "Here Again," Dirk, communion will be happening. And you may need to like loop the bridge again at the end if people are still taking communion. And even if they are done taking communion, if you feel like the Spirit's leading, you can do that and just tell the graphics person to make sure to follow you if you do that. And this song's really cool because it takes us on a journey from being kind of lost and feeling like God isn't there to, in the bridge, declaring that we've never been forsaken. We trust in his faithfulness because he's in this place. One quick thing I also want to mention, that I'm trying to remind everybody, including myself, is whenever you're on the platform, and if you could remind your people this weekend and yourself of this, whenever you're on the platform, you're leading. So I'm thinking specifically about like next steps and stuff. A lot of times it's really easy for us to like check out. But don't check out. Make sure you're engaged. And make sure people are showing it on their face too, that they're engaged with what's happening throughout the whole worship experience. So thanks, Ariana. This video ended up being a little longer than I wanted. So maybe watch it on 1.5 speed. But yeah, give me any feedback or thoughts on what would be helpful in the future for setting you up to win in the worship experience.